Hi boys and girls, this is Mrs. Provin and I'm just going to show you a little bit about how to share your Prezi with your partner so that you can work together in the moment. We talked about in class how you can't really be in the exact same frame when you're creating your frames with your Prezi, but you can be in different areas and doing different things at the same time. So the first thing I want to show you is how to share. So if I just click this once and hover around, you'll notice that there's edit, and this next little symbol right here means share. So we're going to click that, and it's going to take me to what you see here to share my particular Prezi about almond that I created for you as an example. So we're going to pretty much ignore this because we're using the free Prezi and it's public. And if we want to keep it private, we have to pay for that. So we're staying with the free version. So we're going to leave everything here exactly the way it is. And down here, you're going to type in the email address of the partner that you're sharing with. So let's say that I'm going to share with Tawny Beck. So she's TBECK 21 at FDschools. And don't forget it's org, not com. So she's an editor. I want to leave it that way because if I click here I can make her just a viewer, but you guys are partners and you're editing together. So we're going to leave it and you're going to push add. So now you can see down here below that not only am I allowed to see my Prezi, but Tawny is as well. So I'm going to go ahead and exit that. And the next thing I want to do is just go into my own Prezi and remind you of a few things. So here's my main frame, and you can see that I created an invisible frame right here. It allowed me to have the title of my god and then kind of an intro right here as far as what they're god of during the time of ancient Egypt. And then there's this cool maze, this template that I chose to use, and then there's various frames that you can see around the center. So it's going to start in the center and then it's going to go around the outside and circle around. You can change that path whenever you want to. It doesn't have to stay the same. But for this first one, if we can just keep it simple, we're just going to pretty much leave it alone unless you have extra time and then you can mess more with it. So I started mine out with, if you just play through here, it focuses in, magnifies in on just the title. And this is my first frame. It tells you about the physical appearance, so I just chose to keep all of that together using complete sentences that I researched and found information for. Then you can see that it focuses in on Amun symbols and what's associated with him. And then if I push on forward, it'll magnify another frame within this frame. So that's what's cool about it. I used images. Now we're going to focus into another frame in that big frame still, a little bit further. And now it's going to go along the path and go to a completely different frame. I chose to use all my information and just pack it up into one slide for this one. And this is the roles and responsibilities of my god. Next, we talked about having to have 5 important facts or interesting information about our god or goddess. So that's what my next frames are about. So here's a piece of information and I magnified in on her picture. Next complete frame, second piece of information. Again, magnifies to just the picture. Another piece of information. This particular one has 2 illustrations, so I focused in on one at each time. And that's pretty much it for that. I just gave you some examples. So remember to edit my Prezi I'm going to go down here at the bottom to push the edit button. Remember to stay away from edit path. And that's what you're going to see come up when I'm actually in edit here in a minute. And we talked about that. You're not able to see it here, and I don't think I'm going to be able to show it. Let me see if I can lift it up. No. So underneath here, class, on the bottom underneath these frames, it's going to say edit path, and it's going to look like another blue button. Don't push that. If you want to edit your path, we can do it here along the frames kind of section, just like your PowerPoints. You can put them in different order. We're going to leave them alone for now, though, okay? So stay away from edit path. Now, let's say that I want to create another, I want to finish up another slide. So right now I'm going to look exactly at that frame. I want to zoom to frame. That's going to let me see it up close so I can see everything. I started to edit a little bit in class and I kind of left it alone, but let's say that I want to work on this particular frame. So right now I can see it. When I actually present my Prezi, I won't, but right now I can in edit because I have to click on that to edit it. Let's say that I don't really want that in there. Let's say that I want to get rid of all of it. And let's say that I want to create a frame that you can't see, and inside of that frame I'm going to put an image. So we're going to kill two birds with one stone here. So I'm going to go over here to my frame options, and if I go to this arrow and click, I can use a bracket frame like this one that you see here, a circle, a rectangle, or invisible. I'm going with invisible right now, so I'm going to click it, and now right here I'm going to drag that frame over. I can make it as big as I want. I can move it with the hand. I'm going to make it bigger just to work with it a little bit more for now, a little smaller, and move it over. And so now what I want to do is I want to zoom to the frame because I really want, well, let's just leave it alone. But if I wanted to really magnify it, I'd zoom it. But let's say I want to insert an image. So I'm going to go from my frame, leave it there, push insert, and I want to go to image. Now I'm going to see that I can search. Let's say that I want a picture of Amen Egyptian god, and see what that gives me. And I can see as I scroll up different pictures. Now, sometimes it might not be a real true picture. There might be something really different about it that just doesn't look like what you've researched. So stay away from those images, but let's say this one looks, oh, let's see. I really like this one. It shows that red hat we talked about when I shared my Prezi before. It shows his scepter, it shows his ankh, shows those ostrich plumes. So let's pick that one. Now, just to put it in, I'm just going to double click it. So click, click. Ruh-roh. Now I can delete that if I want to, but if I would have zoomed to my frame, it would have went in, but I didn't do that. But that's okay. We're going to be flexible. We're just going to drag it over the top of your frame, and we're going to make it a little bit smaller like that. And then I'm pretty happy with that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to look and see what happens when I go to that frame. So right now I'm on my frame with the god over here in the corner, and you'll notice over here it's actually highlighted around the frame, so that means that's where I'm at right now. So if I click this, that shows me where I'm at. If I click the next one, it takes me to the next frame, and now if I click this frame, it takes me to the god that I wanted to see. Cool, right? Now, if it's too big for my frame, then I can back out, of course. And I'm going to go back to this one. And I can make this frame bigger. Remember, highlight the frame, hover on it, Make it a little bigger. It's really not going to matter if it's a little too big because it's just going to go away anyway, but I want my God inside of my frame so it wasn't too big for my picture and I don't see all of him. And I'm going to click out and I'm going to go back over here one more time and just see how that works and see if I like it. Now see how much better that is? So again, all this stuff right here will be gone later. So that's just a little bit about framing, creating a frame, and inserting an image. And we talked about the text and the titles and making the colors the way you want them in class. So